This program is brought to you in part by SalCal Real Estate Connections. Welcome to Racing Action Today, and we're with dynamic and personable artist, TV icon,
oh God, thank
Dawn
you so
Lombardi.
much. Thanks for having me, Larry. I'm so excited to come on the show. We're having a ball. I'm in a different spot than I usually am because I'm usually over on the other side by the cooking area, which is great. So this is our second episode together, so this is great. Thank you.
So your TV show.
I love it. I love yours.
How did you get involved in this?
Kind of like yours. So my daughter was probably like, I don't know, 8 months old, and my son was like 2, and so my husband and I had decided that I was a teacher, and I told him I'm not having any children with you unless I don't work, because the job being a teacher is like a lot like being a mom, Mm-hmm. So I can't do both. So it's either one or the other, So I quit that because you really put everything into it. If you're a good teacher anyway, you become a mom to these kids,
Yeah.
So I decided that I can't do that and be nice at home when I'm nice all day. So, so I decided to stay home with the kids, and then this was kind of like an outlet just for me to some people go out for a drink, they have their friends, they go out on the weekends, blah, 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 they get their hair done. Like, this was my thing where I was like, this would be a lot of fun. And I kind of liked it. And like you said, people kind of stop you here and that. And it's not like people are paying for the program because it's like public access television, but like I tune in.
Did you do a lot of public speaking or anything?
Oh no, no. But I have a lot of friends, and like you, I get along with pretty much everybody, and I'm open to different points of view and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was fun, and plus I felt comfortable in front of the camera. Like a lot of times, my sister calls. And sometimes when my sister calls, she's part of my friends know her. And even though she lives far away, we put her right on the table. Like she's part of it's almost like she's there. We put her right in the chair.
Yeah.
And we put her on speaker, and it's like Wendy's with us. It's so funny. But that's what we do. And some people would be like, oh, I'll call you back later. But we put it on speaker, and we join right in with my sister because she's the same way. It's just
now, where does she live?
So she's Boston and Cape Cod.
Oh, wow.
She has 2 homes. And she goes back and forth in between. And usually she's in Falmouth, which is like very easy because you go over the Bourne Bridge and goes Bourne, Falmouth. And then Milton, so where Milton Academy. Mm-hmm. You know all those places because his boys played, college. When you're playing college sports, Milton Academy. And my sister's kid goes to Tabor.
I spent a lot of time in Boston.
Yeah, Boston has good sports. I went to Boston University.
Draper Laboratory, and I used to be in manufacturing.
Really?
Actually went to MIT to
You're kidding. I mean,
work.
Are you kidding? That's crazy.
I'm not.
No, the Boston's like the area for that. It's like a cornucopia of technology, great schools. And I went to Boston University, so I learned how to do art there.
Oh yeah, it was a good school.
Great school, and it's a great school to learn how to paint and draw and stuff like that. So when we have these shows, a lot of people will have a show where a lot of people watch my show and they're thinking like, oh, it's not that good. But the thing is like, I don't really want to do 5 episodes of the same painting. Because I don't really want to watch. I wouldn't want to watch that. Hopefully it comes out good, but
that's
sometimes
what attracted me. One day I put your show on,
and I said it was bad.
And you're painting something. I said, what the heck is going on?
What is she doing?
She's painting something, and their guest is too.
Right. What are they doing?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was a very interesting
way
to do it.
Yeah. It's like when Larry called me, and I know it's a racing action show, and I thought, I don't know anything about cars, but sometimes it's not about that, because when he called me, said Berlin, I said, the Swanson family. And that was really funny because that was just instant. And Hyde and Ted said, oh yeah, we know them. And they were really competitive in sports. So like, that's my Berlin connection, is the Swanson family. And he's very close with them. So that was really neat. And then Judy and Alan. And then your wife knows them. Carol, his wife, knew them. And then not really many other things about Berlin I know, except for the Berlin Turnpike I love.
Well, growing up, let me tell you.
Was Stu Leonard's over there, though, when you were growing up?
No. McDonald's was the first
They
one.
just poisoned everybody with their
The
cookies.
first one in the state, I mean, they were very early. McDonald's on the Berlin Turnpike, and then
McDonald's was at the end, past Hawthorne.
And we used to drag race right on the highway. Of
course.
Oh my dear.
Were all those crappy motels all there
Yeah.
always?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And you didn't need like an ID to go there. You just went. No.
Nope. And
So you could check in with like a 17-year-old, 18-year-old.
When we were kids, that was it.
Right.
You hung out there. You hung out at the car
There's
hop.
a lot of motels.
There was a
in
car
there.
hop up the street.
That's right.
Up the street. Yes.
And was the Hawthorne Inn considered like fancy?
Oh yes.
Okay,
yes.
so it was.
Yes, it was.
So it was like going to like the Wooden Tap or something
Absolutely.
like that. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And then what about the Silo where I live? Was that there?
That
when
was
you...
always a famous
That
place.
was really, really, really in. Yeah. And then Gary and them moved on to like 150, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think in Bristol. But Berlin, yeah. So I've been like you. I've been doing this for like a long time. I really love it. I think it's fun.
So now, when you pick guests for your shows, when you're painting these things, you first, that's not the subject while they're coming. They're coming as a talk show, right?
Yeah, they're coming for their trade. And I'm just trying to show. It's sort of like when you watch these, I don't know, these people get paid $6 million to introduce the news in the morning, and then they have coffee, and then it turns into martinis for some reason. And then you're thinking, these girls are making $6 million talking about whatever they're talking about, but it's not about the war, and it's not about Hamas, and it's not about anything exciting. Well, it is exciting, but it's kind of like, I don't know. It's interesting how that works. You know what I mean? Talk shows are funny like that, but I do like to have, I would love to have a really famous artist on the show. That'd be fun. But it'd be hard to, I don't know who I'd ask or who I'd get or anything.
Now,
Sylvester Stallone. Stallone.
Oh yeah, he would be good.
He would be so perfect. And plus, I don't think he's going to do any more Rocky movies. So if you're watching, you come on. I think he likes cars too.
Yeah,
he's got them.
He does. Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Rod Stewart loves trains. I mean, there's got to be a moment when you're not Mick Jagger and Keith Richards and your career, it's kind of ending, unlike theirs.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, don't you have some paintings at like a Hillstead museum?
Ah. So again, when my kids were little, there was remember those farmers markets? They're still kind of popular. You go and get cheese and bread and you walk around.
Yep.
So I used to bring the kids, and it was a great way for them to walk around, be entertained, all the farmers markets. And I would paint very fast. So, because they were little, they were really little, so it didn't really last that long. But I could set up a painting, finish it in an hour. My kids were done. I'd buy all the bread, put them on a hay bale. People were, doing the musician things, and I'd come up with about 36 paintings.
Ooh, wow.
And they were all pretty good. And then the Sue Sturdivant was the director at the time, and she asked me if I wanted to have a show there. So we had a show, and it was really successful. Great.
Wow.
And now, really, I haven't done many shows in a while, but that's what I usually like to do.
I got to ask you one thing. When somebody says American Impressionist artist, is that a type of a painting or artist?
Yeah. So an Impressionist artist, the whole term comes from I don't know when the camera was invented. Do you know? I mean, don't call me dumb, but I really don't know the exact date when the camera was invented. Mm-hmm. But the camera obscura was invented before the camera, which means it's just a mirror that flashes back and you can blow stuff up and actually trace it. So that goes back very early.
Yes.
But as far as being an impressionist, it basically means a person that takes their paints and goes outside and paints in, like, whether or not you're in a rainstorm, a thunderstorm, whatever's in front of you. An impressionist is somebody that goes outside or paints something live.
It's a style of
it means you're doing something live. So even if I were painting you and me now, that would be an impressionist painting, because you only have so much time, and you're not working from a photograph, and you're doing an impression of what you see in front of you. So it's kind of neat, and they're all really kind of loosely blended, sort of like a Monet, a Renoir. So when you go to Paris, you're basically going to see Impressionist paintings everywhere.
Oh, wow.
The Louvre. The Mona Lisa is not an Impressionist.
Now, let me ask you a question. When somebody's going on your show, What type of painting did they want to do, or do you tell them we got to do
A little
this?
bit of both. Like there's the girl that is on Nutmeg TV. She's very religious. You probably know her. I can't remember her name. I mean, I can't. It's Sore Angel, but I don't know the name of her show. Her name's Sore Angel. Isn't that cool? But she came on my show, I think. Yeah, she asked to come on my show. She wanted to paint a girl with an umbrella, which was easy, and she actually taught me how to do it. And then, sorry, I just hit my mic. She said, "Don't hit the mic." Sorry, Madeline, I love her. But anyway, she came on my show and we talked about like super religious stuff, and then it got like kind of crazy because Sore Angel's been through a lot. Hi, Sore Angel, but you've been through a lot, and so she was really cool coming on the show. But she picked what we were gonna paint.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was that. But it kind of just like kind of what was unraveling tonight. Like he and I didn't really talk tonight. We weren't like, okay, now are you wearing green? Because I'm going to wear green. And you know what I mean? I'm going to bring this and you're going to bring that. Because my shows work out much better. Like we just met in person before I got here, like 5 seconds. And I met Marianne Ellen Fillo was on my show. I'd never met her. She's kind of famous. And then Jim. Remember the guy that did the Hartford Current, Jim? It was kind of a funny section, very funny. Jim Daly, maybe it was.
Yeah.
He was hilarious. So he came on the show, and his section in the Hartford Current was really, really laid back and lackadaisical and really crazy. And I thought he was kind of like, and you can't even do this anymore, but I thought he was like into girls. I don't even know, because he had a wife, and I wasn't being gross or anything, but I just thought he was kind of like, I don't know. But I asked I asked a bunch of my friends, would you guys pose in a bikini? And they were like, what? And I was like, do you mind like posing in a bikini? Because I'm having I think it was Jim Daly.
Yeah.
And one of my neighbors was like, I'll pose in a bikini. And I believe, I don't know if she wore a bikini, but she wore a bathing suit and she had a perfect body. And she laid in a lawn chair, and
wow.
Jim came on and he was nothing like what I expected. Yeah, it would be like if John Denver showed up and you had a bottle of scotch, but he was like, I only drink water. So it was really bad. And Jim was like, oh my God. But it was really funny. And we painted Cherry. McLaughlin, you know the McLaughlins?
Yeah.
Yeah, because their dad is a famous baseball player. I can't remember his last name though. But they're very close with the Swansons.
So
what was his last name?
When you do this
McLaughlin.
painting, you kind of
Cherry,
you
like
kind of get a
body.
feel for the guy or the woman first of what they like to do, or no?
Sometimes not. I mean, sometimes it's just kind of fun to meet people that you see around. You don't know somebody so well. They always say like you've never walked in anybody's shoes until you know. And like that's kind of like, I think how many towns do we reach at Nutmeg? Like 12?
9.
9, is it?
Yeah.
So like probably like, not to be crazy, but like I don't know if people notice you when you go to the store, but nobody notices me ever. But you know where they do notice me? ShopRite in Bristol.
Is that right?
Yes. That's the most place I get. And then sometimes Stop and Shop in Unionville. Like someone will say like, hey, I love your show. And I'm like, will you be on? Here's my number. And I write it down and I give it to them. And they always say like, no.
I have to ask
And I'm like, please, come on. And they're like, no.
The paintings you do, you seem to like cupcakes.
I know. I love them.
So tell me, what's the deal behind that?
So I always do a series, whether it's a football players, cupcakes. I don't know what I'm going to do next, but my last big series was roosters, and they all sold, and they were all beautiful. And then it's kind of like when people get sick of The Sopranos. So they're like, okay, everybody died. They killed everybody. They're all dead. We need to watch another show, So it's sort of like when Seinfeld's done, it's done.
Yeah.
I never was a Seinfeld person. I never watched Friends either, which people think it's weird, but I didn't. I liked Three's Company. I'm a little too young for that, but I mean, those were my favorite shows. All in the Family was a little too harsh for me, but I liked Three's Company, the one with Michael J. Fox, Family Ties. Yeah. I mean, that's what I grew up on. That stupid one, which would be called like a racist and sexist today, but Married with Children. Remember that one with Ted Bundy?
I mean, the old stuff.
And his name was Ted Bundy,
yes,
wasn't it? I mean, that's a bad name.
The old stuff I love.
I love it, but now it doesn't fly.
Now it don't fly.
No, now you can't do that. But I loved that, like, Everybody thought Jack Tripper was gay, and then he had the 2 gorgeous girls that lived with him. I mean, I thought the whole thing was hilarious. That show, Three's Company, was like my favorite. And then what was the one? I think he just died from the Honeymooners. Like literally 3 days ago, the last girl. What was her name? Trudy? Trixie? Trixie just died.
Yeah.
So
I love that show.
I know. Well, you know who I liked is the next show that came after it, Newhart.
Yeah, he was good. He was good too.
They were hilarious, and I don't think there was coffee in those coffee cups. I just don't.
You know, and that's
I don't think there was coffee cups.
What's a good
and didn't
question
they smoke? They all
is
smoked,
why don't they have those kind of shows? They got these crazy shows on today. I don't know. I just don't like them.
I liked how they were all just like, I mean, it was just really funny how things happened back then. I liked those shows. And my parents, so I just lived with my parents for a little bit while I was recovering from an operation, and I was watching like their shows. So my mom loves like John Wayne, and which is great. But who's another one? I mean, just all the black and whites.
Oh yeah, Zorro.
My mom and dad loved them, so I watched a lot of that in the past 2 weeks, and it was really entertaining. But they didn't have like editing like they do here. So if I use the S words or he used the, I don't swear in general. It's like I tell kids at school. I'm like, it's not like I don't know all the swear words. It's just when you become habit to it, you're gonna sound like you're trashy.
Yeah.
You're not gonna sound educated at all.
That's the problem with guys have a tendency.
And when you don't have manners, you also don't look educated. Yeah, you just don't.
If
you're gonna pick a fight at Walmart, like you don't even. I mean, you belong there, so don't come in the J. Timothy's. But I mean, Berlin. I'm trying to think of like places that I like to go there. Like, I don't really know anywhere except Berlin.
So you go there?
No. Where is it?
It's a nice restaurant.
Well, I like Pagliacci's,
used to be the
so it's gotta be like that.
Casaloma years ago.
Is it like Pagliacci's except in Berlin?
Yeah,
okay, so it's all homemade.
Yeah, Pagliacci's a good place.
What's the place called?
Portofino.
Still there?
Yes.
So
on,
my kid.
New Britain Road.
It is in Berlin.
Yes.
Oh, I'll go there. So last time I had lunch with Ted and Hyde, and we always went to Confetti. That was popular, and now it's Rebel Dog, but we had a great time. That was a nice place to go.
Yeah, they like that place.
Yeah. Now Hawthorne Inn is still there, right?
Oh yeah.
It really is.
Different name. No, it's different. They call it something else.
When you walk in, is the piano still there?
Yes.
It really is?
It's a different name though. I can't remember now what the name is.
Yeah.
Not the same.
But Berlin Turnpike, I'll tell you. Yeah, the McDonald's was there. What else was there? Drive-through. There was like a drive-through. You would go up to the car.
The first bowling alley that I could remember.
Canal?
Right up the street from McDonald's. The first bowling alley.
Was it called Canal?
Bowlerama, they used to call it.
Yes, and it had a pillar.
Yeah.
And it was written down the pillar.
Yeah, and the car hop, Sesame's car hop.
Yes.
The girls with roller skates.
Yes. Okay, so Ted Swanson, hello. So that's what he made me paint, is his entire train scene in the entire train is all Berlin. So it has all those baseball fields.
Yeah.
And we had so much fun painting them, because Ted was like, the baseball field is a squared on or a diamond.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but when it's like far away and it's tilted, it's not a diamond.
No,
it turns. No, it turns, because I'm an artist. But we painted Ted and Judy and Alan's farm. I mean, Berlin's a great place to grow up.
Oh, yeah.
And it still has, like, I love how you go up the Berlin Turnpike and all of a sudden you're on Worthington Ridge.
Yeah.
And then
Worthington Ridge is special. Let me tell you, it's very special.
I like the one, there's a big house and it's like mustard color. What the heck is that? It's like a mustard color. It's the biggest house on.
Well,
what is that?
That's the meeting house.
And but what about now? Does anybody live there?
No.
So what is it used for? Because it's gorgeous.
It's the meeting house.
I want to meet at the meeting house.
In reality, George Washington supposedly spent time there.
I'm sure he did.
And
now, what about now? What do they use it for?
No, it's just historical society. They're trying to keep it up, but they're not real active.
The other thing is
you have the funds. You know what I mean?
I know, but all it takes is like, see, here's the thing. It's like everything's switched. Stay-at-home moms are no longer, and nothing against anybody that's not, but because times changed. But like that meeting house right now, like if I really was raising my kids and I had nothing to do and I had a little bit of money with a good economy on the side, like I really wouldn't mind bringing my kids there,
You want to hear
baking
something
some
weird?
cookies and selling them.
You want to hear something
And then someone else could
interesting?
make some knitting stuff. And then,
With that meeting house,
I mean, I
me
hate that it
and
sits
my
there.
wife
I love
went
that
there
place.
to school. I swear to God, I was in the 4th grade and she was in the 2nd or 3rd grade.
You really did?
Honest to God.
So if you're ever in Berlin, there's a big turnpike.
Right on Worthington Ridge. Yep.
But it's a big turnpike. You'd never know that all of a sudden you kind of go up and you're in fairy tale land.
Oh, yeah.
And you go up that thing and go slow, and the houses
the
are
left side,
absolutely beautiful. And Ray up on
Meeting
the
house.
and I
yes.
think there's a post office that's
Yes,
still
there
open.
is, still there.
It's the quintessential little place of Berlin. I absolutely love it. But that meeting house, it's like a mustard color.
Yeah.
And it's too bad that you couldn't like get someone that like you could make money.
Well, the historical.
I'll buy a popover for $10.
Region
make one.
starts there and goes pretty far, almost to the Berlin Turnpike.
And then you just cut down on that street, like right after Worthington Ridge, and it just goes right
Middletown
down.
Road.
Yes. And like in 2 seconds, you got to go from 0
Now,
to 60.
if I'm not mistaken, Ted, they live in a
Some
historical
sort.
house.
Yeah. I think
Right?
the whole street is though.
That house at one time was a store,
Yep.
believe it or not.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I grew up in a house. So you would ask me, like, I was born in Northampton, but we also were raised way, way in the woods. Our house was 1658, my parents' house.
Mm-hmm.
And it was also a George Washington stagecoach stop. And we lived on 250 acres. Yeah, my mom wanted it that way. I think my dad did too.
Yeah.
And it was weird because we were off the grid, like literally. Like you think like now you got this stuff. I mean, and you didn't have it and I didn't have it, but
No.
please.
Was
We
way
had,
different.
oh God,
When
it's
I
so
moved
odd.
to Berlin, when I was young, I was like 10 years old.
It's so weird, isn't
There
it?
was more cows than people.
It's so weird.
I'm going to tell you.
And wasn't it kind of like, not to be mean, but like, I mean, maybe you didn't have to have money for college, but it like kind of seemed like it was like military or this or teaching or nursing or something. It was just like your choices were very limited.
Yes.
Whereas like when your kid said, it's just like if my kid said, like my kid goes to Central and he's doing great. But I'll tell you, if my kid literally was in bed all day and said he was going to Central and came home, I wouldn't know. Like I literally wouldn't know. He's such a good, you know what I mean? He's such a great kid, have no idea. Comes home, oh, this school was great. Oh, economics great. This, that. He could be lying to me right now. He could go to McDonald's and hang out all day and then come home and say like, oh, school was great. Like I would have no idea.
Well, hey.
But that's the kind of parenting I want to be. I want to be able to trust him. I don't want to put too much pressure on him.
No.
You just don't.
No.
And I think sometimes people have too much, especially, don't you think, with sports, people get crazy.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, boy.
And it's like you just don't know what, like, you know, even with softball, like with the girls, like you look at some kind of team of softball and those girls aren't like spindly, like hardly at all. But sometimes you'll see basketball players, like that Paige girl. Like I would love if she was sitting next to me right now. Like, is she like a Rebecca Lobo size?
Oh, yeah.
Is she really?
No, she's not big.
She just seems,
No,
sorry, Paige.
she looks maybe
I mean, I
look
don't
big.
know.
She plays big, but
even
she's
that
not.
girl that plays for the women's national, Katie, everybody loves. I don't know anything about sports, but
Some of these girls are
what's
big.
the girl's name that everybody loves? And she had a big feud with the. What are they telling her? Oh, I keep hitting the mic. Sorry. She's like the biggest like college. Oh, I forgot her name, but big. But you wonder, are they really that? Or like when my
Like Rebecca Lobo
was
is huge.
tall.
She's huge.
Yes, but you wonder. Sometimes they're not. Like the point guard can be
this,
smaller.
the other girl you're talking about.
Page something.
She is
Bookums
not
or something.
big.
I know, isn't it funny?
She's good though.
I know. Plus, like and sometimes if you have too much height, you can be like clumsy. But that Klingon kid happens to be like amazing. My kid loves him. That Donovan Klingon, he's amazing.
I mean, I love
Isn't he amazing?
athletics, you know.
I love that he
Kids.
decided he could go wherever he wanted, and he
Yeah.
said, "No, UConn's my thing."
Well, Dawn, when
She's
you're
telling
having
us
fun,
one more minute.
when you're having fun, Time flies.
Did she just give us 1
Yeah,
minute?
no, we're over the minute.
We are? Oh, God.
So I
we didn't
want
even
to
know.
thank you, number one, for being here.
It was so much fun.
And we hope to have you back because it's been too much fun.
Well, next time you'll come on the show and we'll paint a car. We'll paint a car.
Remember, you saw it first on Racing Action Today. The famous Dawn Lombardi, Crack of Dawn, your TV show.
Here we are. Thanks for having me on Racing Action Today. I had a great time, and we'll do it again, but we'll be on my show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye.
This program is brought to you in part by Just Results Weight Loss Center in Berlin, Connecticut.
Nick Augustino right here at the East Side Restaurant. We always have the complete full dinner menu. Knockwurst, bratwurst, sauerbraten, potato pancakes, red cabbage, rice pudding, cream pies, all the desserts that Germany had to offer. I always do something different. Yes, I do. I brought seafood to the beer garden at the East Side Restaurant. East Side Restaurant, your German destination restaurant in Connecticut. Tiki-taka, tiki-taka, hoi, hoi, hoi!
I'm your host, Kurt Barwis. Today, I have a very special guest, Dr. Andrew Lin.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Veterans Corner. My name's Chuck Wooden.
Decision for ourselves for this week if we want to be made well.
Hi, welcome to the Crack of Dawn. It's Dawn Lombardi. I'm starting the painting. It's going to be the clips with some water. Love it.
He took me on the sets of Lost in Space, Batman.
Everybody has a story. What's yours? Until next time.